I'm gonna spray this whole can of Seafoam in my engine and see what happens. Welcome to the Minimasters. So to kick things off, if you guys haven't heard of Seafoam, it's been around for a really long time and everybody loves it. And this is their spray that you spray directly into the intake of your engine, and it's supposed to clean out a lot of the old gunk and gook that builds up in there. So to get things started, I disconnected this top intake tube because I have the dual runners like a lot of you guys have. And following the directions on the can, we're basically going to insert this red spray straw and then try our best to close up the intake tube here and put it back on so there's not a massive vacuum leak. Now, prior to doing all this, I drove the truck around, got it warmed up to engine temperature. That way I'm not sitting here waiting while I have this little goofy setup. So I'm gonna get this thing hooked up and we'll get started. So I mentioned earlier, you have this red spray straw and then you have this piece here that kind of holds it rigid. And we don't need a whole lot to get in here because your throttle plate's right here. So I can't just quite put it right where it naturally bends from the packaging. So I'm gonna create a new bend, kind of like so. And then we're gonna feed this guy right in there like that. And as I mentioned, do our best to get this back on. That's actually pretty good. I may actually loosen the hose clamp up a little bit. Oh yeah, perfect. Next, kind of hook our can up like so. And voila, we have our setup. So now I'm going to turn the engine on and we'll come right back here. All right, so we have the engine on and basically you're going to open your throttle a little bit. I'm going to kind of estimate whether it's 2,000 RPM, and then I'm going to start pushing the spray nozzle here. So as you guys are watching me spray the Seafoam into my intake, I periodically have to stop because it's just a lot of effort holding down that spray cap while trying to hold the throttle at roughly 2,000 RPM. But I'm also looking for a big cloud of smoke. It seems like when people spray this in their intake, there's this big puff of smoke that comes from the tailpipe, which is why I set the camera back so that you can watch the whole thing. And maybe that's something that comes after heat soak, so there's still a chance for it. Time will tell. Okay, so engine is off. I've used the entire can, and if we're following the directions, it says you shut the truck off and you let it heat soak for 10 minutes. While it is heat soaking, you just basically remove your little straw setup right here and then come back in 10 minutes for the next step. Real quick, guys, if you like my channel and you want to support it, I am selling t-shirts, front and back, 4 kinds of stickers, more in the future. If you want some for yourself, check out the link in the video description below, and let's get back to the video. So it's been a little over 10 minutes of the engine heat soaking while it's off since spraying the Seafoam in the intake. So now it's time to turn the engine on. And again, following the directions to the letter, we're gonna go for a 10-minute drive, hitting the accelerator in a very spirited manner. It's a nice way of saying you're gonna kind of do some higher RPM speeding. So here we go. Okay, so truck started. Oh. And we have some smoke out of the tailpipe. Let's go check it out. So just the time it took for me to get out of the truck and come over here, it's not a big plume of smoke. You can see some there. So let's see if more comes out as we drive. All right, guys, so here's a country road for our 10-minute spirited drive. So just looking out my window through my rear view mirror and everything, I'm still not seeing a cloud of smoke. But man, this new suspension floats. So I did a U-turn, pulled off on the side of the road, and I have my truck in neutral. And again, just want to see, that's me revving the engine. No smoke. But also, my engine sounds super, super good. All right, time to head back. So guys, I'm just pulling back in here to the in-laws orchard, and my final thoughts on the Seafoam are very easy to do. 1, 2, highly recommend. 3, I don't know where the big plumes of smoke were since I really didn't get that. So if you're worried about
pissing off the people in your HOA, I think you can get away with this one. And then my final note, now that I've stopped and I'm pulling on to the farm here, my engine is idling very smooth. Normally I can see like a lope, you know, you'd see a rough idle, but it's really smooth. So I think just in the 30 minutes that I've done this whole treatment, it's gotten that much better. So that's all for me, guys. See ya.